Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video that's going to be a full reveal of my second collaboration with Oden's Eye. Welcome to Halloween. Hella is back for Halloween and we are having not just one palette but two palettes plus 5 lippies. This is a full collection. We're gonna dive into it. I'm so excited to finally be showing you. This Halloween's gonna be lit. So if you didn't know, last year me and Oden's Eye did this Hella palette together. It came out at Valentine's Day last year and it was this, this is my untouched one, this beautiful pinky green color story. And when Oden's Eye reached out to me last year after this collection was actually, well, still in stock actually, they reached out to me and they're like, how do you feel about doing a round 2 of Hella? How do you feel about bringing back Hella for Halloween? That's why the packaging is changed for Halloween. And I was like, definitely. So this is me being able to explore a couple of more color stories that are fun and quirky and just things that I love to wear and things that I hope that you will love to wear as well. And this collection has 2 different palettes and it has 5 different lip products as well. We're gonna go through all of this as, I don't want to say quickly as possible, but I don't want to make this a 50-minute video, but just some info in the beginning. This collection is launching on Wednesday the 20th at 10 a.m. Central Time. I will put all of the info that I have down in the description box, some different time zones, but remember you can also Google to see what time zone you are in. Normally my discount code with Oden's Eye is Angelica, but it will not be applicable on collab items, which is normal when it comes to collab items with Oden's Eye, but if you add anything else to your basket, you can get 10% off that with the code Angelica. The palettes will be $43.90 each, which is the same price as the Hella palette was. I'm very excited that we're keeping this at the same price range, and the lippies will be $13.90 each, which these are new. I have not seen Oden's Eye do something like this before. 3 different formulas and we will talk about those in a bit as well. So before we jump into all of the swatches, I just quickly wanted to just get it out of the way. Why did I decide to do another collab with Oden's Eye when I have my own brand, Cinch Beauty? First of all, it's very easy. Oden's Eye did reach out to me. It was a long time ago and we've been working on this for a really long time. And since I know how long it takes to work on something when you already have all the basics already there, like you have the designers, you have the formulas, you have all of that, there's no way that I'm able to release anything even remotely similar to this with my own brand within a similar time range. And I love Oden's Eye. It's one of my absolute favorite brands. I love working with Oden's Eye. Our creative process together is just so great, and I knew that they would allow me to just take my vision wherever I wanted to. So I knew I was going to be able to release something that's really fun and high quality that I could really stand behind. And let's be honest, my brand has makeup brushes so far. So I just felt like it would be really cool to do another round of beautiful Hella items for Halloween together with Oden's Eye. And I'm just so excited how all of this have come together. I cannot wait to show you all of it. So let's dive in. Okay, let's start with looking at the palettes. With this collection, we have 2 different palettes. And because I had 2 different avenues to be exploring, what kind of color stories I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure that they are different enough, but also I want them to stand on their own. I want this to be a complete color story and I want this to be a complete color story. So if you end up getting just one of them, I don't want you to feel like you're missing something. That was very important to me. This is the Little Ghost palette and I just had so much fun naming these shades. If you didn't know, this is one of the reasons. I love Oden's. I probably would have said yes if they were like, we want to do a collection about worms. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I just moved to the US from Sweden. If you didn't know, the whole Hella, this theming, the original Hella is based on the Norse mythology goddess Hela, which is the goddess of death, the goddess of the underworld, also the goddess of bringing people back from death if she feels like they died too early. She is basically the circle of life, but if we're leaning into the death theme, it really makes sense for Halloween to bring it in. And I just moved to the US from Sweden, so I'm just experiencing Halloween for the first time for me because Halloween is just starting to get bigger in Sweden. So I felt like this was the perfect crossover, just explaining what's going on in my life moving from Sweden to the US. So this color story, I decided to go very poppy and very bright, and the color choices are just stuff that I've been wanting to explore in color stories. I've been wanting to bring in blues, I've been wanting to bring in purples, and I love mixing both of those with like peaches and bright like corals and stuff like that, and this pop of a neon yellow, which I think is so much fun. I've done some collab palettes before, and I just really feel like I haven't been able to explore purples and blues, and I'm so excited about how this palette looks. It's just so sexy. And tomorrow we're gonna have 3 looks with this palette on my channel if you want to see how to use this one, how I've been using it, if you want to get some inspiration. So the first shadow is called Banana Taffy, which is just a very nice neon yellow. And when it comes to neons, just know that they're pretty white based, and neons are best used as accent colors. I will try and make sure to use them as many ways as possible to show you how to utilize a color like this, but it's not necessarily a color that I would recommend to start with in the crease, because it's going to be really hard to build something on top of that. And this also, of course, is a very just a very bright shade that just is a pop and like a contrasting color to anything that's going on in this palette. But I love this shadow, and I will show you tomorrow at least one way you can use it. Next one is a bright purple. This is a pretty true purple. It's a pretty like darker than mid-tone purple, and this one is called Little Ghost. So this one is called after the palette itself, and because I knew I wanted to have something blue and I wanted to have something purple, it felt pretty good to name a shadow like that after the palette. I just love this shade. I've been using it so much, and you're gonna see this used again at least twice in tomorrow's video. And then we have Omnius, which is just a really beautiful darker true purple, super sparkly metallic. This one has almost some blue sparkles in here. It's just such a beautiful high opacity sparkly metallic. Absolutely love it. Then we have Licorice. Listen, I'm a sweet at heart. I love licorice, especially salty licorice is my absolute favorite. And this one is not black. It is like a super blackened purple, and it's leaning a little bit more warm than the other purples in this palette. And that is so that it will also go with the more warmer shades down here, because you can use this and deepen up any shade in this palette, to be honest. And I wanted to name it Licorice because that's one of my favorite candies. Don't come for me. Skeleton is an almost white lavender. I designed this to be like a lid shade or a blending out edges shade. You will see me do that in tomorrow's video, or like just an inner corner shade. This is very light, so I don't think anyone would be able to build on top of this one in the crease. I'm just saying that this one that's down here has more pigmented, and this one you definitely could be a crease color. See this one more as an accent color because it is like an almost white lavender. But I also, this is something that I love in a palette. I love when a palette goes from really light to really dark in more than one finish, like both the metallics or shimmers and the mattes. And I love when a palette has more than one formula, and this palette definitely has. I would say that this palette has 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, maybe like 5 formulas. There's a couple of different things going on here. Then we have Zombie. That's a very sparkly, high intensity, like lavender metallic. Super beautiful. Big fan. And then we have Boo! Exclamation point, which is my favorite shade name in this entire palette. This is like a pink going to a like almost like a light teal baby blue, like metallic duochrome. Such a beautiful shade, and this is what I like to call a bridge shade. Because of the pink base with the blue shift, this one will go with this row. It will go with the blues, it will go with the purples. Because this is bridging between the two different themes that are going on here, you could definitely do some corals and reds in the crease, do a little baby blue in the inner part, and then use this one to bridge between the two because of the different shifts in it. Then we have Haunted House, which is a nice dark blue matte. I knew I wanted blues in this palette, and I love a true blue. Not a teal, not a turquoise, a blue, and this is a nice pigmented, wonderful dark blue. This is Cobweb. This is the only satin color in these palettes. This is a white or maybe like an off-white satin. It's a beautiful color to use in your inner corners or on your lid. It's so smooth and beautiful, and it doesn't accentuate as much. So if you want to have a shimmery inner corner but you have a little bit more folds and wrinkles like I do in my inner corners, something that has more of a satin texture will just glide on so beautifully. And I wanted to try out a different format in this palette, and I'm super excited to have this one here. Next one is Ghoulish, and you knew I needed to have a pastel blue. I love pastel blue, so this is a pastel blue matte. It has a little bit more color than the skeleton up here. You can see there's a little bit more color to it, and I just love using this as buffing out like these other blues or in my inner corner or as a lid shade. I'm gonna show you a halo eye tomorrow, and I'm gonna show you how it looks matte with just this one, and then how it looks when you put like a shadow on top as well. Creepy is one of the shades that I knew instantly that I wanted. This is a true blue, super sparkly, super smooth metallic, probably the best metallic sparkly blue in my collection. Absolutely love this one. It's such a beautiful sky blue metallic. Absolutely love it. Haunted is a matte blue. It's like a mid blue. It has a little bit of a gray undertone in it, so it's steering a little bit away from like a crayon blue. So beautiful. It matches so well together with this one here and also this. I wanted to make sure when I did these palettes that you could do a monochromatic look if you wanted to, and all blue and all purple and all like coral, but also that you have some very contrasting colors if you want to try out something different, or that you had shades that really complement each other, like a blue with the purple is very easy to like blend together, and also like this one just bridging in between the two. So I'm very excited that we have like 3 of the blue mattes and 3 of the purple mattes, and then we have of course this row down here with more coral shades. This one is called Magical, and this truly is magical. This is a multi-chrome. It goes from green to gold to a bright sparkly fiery coral. Such a beautiful shade, and again it's more of a contrasting shade. This one also layers beautifully. I'm going to show you a look tomorrow when I'm layering this one on top of the ominous up here, because it's not fully opaque, because it is a duochrome with lots of sparkle. It layers beautifully and can just take your shadow to the next level. It's just, oh, it's so beautiful. Candy corn, I mean, this is not necessarily a candy corn color. I'm sorry about that. I've never had candy corn. Am I missing out? Should I try candy corn? Maybe this year will be the one. This is a nice mid-tone peach matte. It's maybe a little bit more of a bright peach. It goes so well together with this one, but you can also deepen it up with this one up here if you just want to take it in a different direction, or it's pigmented enough so if you want to do more a day-to-day going to the office look, if you just take this one and then just take a little bit of this satin on top, like you will have an office appropriate look. And that's also something that I really try to do with my palettes. Even though I love doing colorful looks, it's nice to have at least 1 or 2 options within a palette where you can just go a little bit more safe if you need to. Screech is one of the colors that we worked the longest on. This is a very high pigmented fiery coral with lots of shimmer in it, so multicolored shimmer. It's so beautiful. I really love this shade. Of course, I've been wearing these palettes in my vlogs. A lot of people have been asking me, what are you wearing in your vlogs? And I'm like, I can't tell you, because like I've been working on these for so long, but this one is a shade that I've been wearing a lot. These 3 together with this one in the inner corner, such an absolutely stunning look. I love it so much. And then the last color is Broomstick, and this is a dark red, and you will see some red, like you see I have some reds on me now as well. You will see some reds in the other palette as well, and this is where I struggled a little bit, because I'm like, how many reds are too many reds? But like I said, I wanted the color stories to be complete on their own, so this is not the same red as the other ones. This is a little bit warmer than some of the ones you're gonna see. So this is a darker, warmer red. This definitely is dark enough for me to have in my crease as a deepening up shade, but you could also opt in and deepen it up even more with this one if you want to. You will see me doing that in it's gonna be, yeah, tomorrow's look. You will see me deepening up with this one. Just a beautiful, dark, almost dried up blood warm red. I absolutely love it. And like I said, these 3 shades are just made for each other. I try to put the shadows in the palette so that it gives you an idea of which ones work together. So I hope it makes sense. I also made some swatches where you can see the shadows together, like all of them like swatched out together, and I think that this palette is just stunning. I'm so excited about all of these shades. I'm excited about the formulas that we were able to get in here. I'm excited about the sparkle and about the peach and the red with the purple and the blue. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. let's get into the next one. So this is the Trick or Treat palette, and this is the palette that I have on my eyes today. It's a little bit warmer, and I wanted to do something that was like really bright and really poppy with the blue and the purple. And then the other palette, I wanted it to be still colorful, but like a little bit more muted, a couple of more, dare I say, neutral options, and just something that was slightly more muted, slightly leaning into a couple of neutral options, just a different color story altogether. So this is what I came up with. I absolutely love this palette, and same here. I love the different directions you can take with this palette, and that there are a couple of like unexpected pops in this palette that just takes it in a totally different direction. And I am of course I'm using this one and this one and this one, and like these shades here are on my eyes today, and you will see this look on Wednesday. I will have 3 looks up with this palette. And also take note, pretty sure this is the first time I'm putting in straight up brown in a collab palette. Somebody called 911. First shade is called Mummy's Curse. This is a beautiful pale yellow with a slight peach sheen. It's like there's some peach shimmer in here. There's a little peach sheen. It's very sparkly. It's pale yellow. There is some pinky peach in there. It's a very beautiful color. Same here. You could just use that one all over the lid. And even if you buy both the palettes, this one together with the peach in the other palette would be a really beautiful, colorful, but a bit more day appropriate look. Then we have Howl, and this is a very stunning. When we perfected this one, I was just like, oh, this is going to be probably the shade I use the most in these palettes. It is a mustard yellow. I know in the Hella palette, I had Wolf, the mustard shade, but that one is leading more towards a mustard caramelly beige, and this is leaning in a little bit more towards the yellow. So this one is more yellow than Wolf if you own the original Hella palette. Just a stunning shade, and this shade will go with so many of the shades in this palette if you just wanted to have a little warmer, a slightly more neutral-esque feel to the looks, because a lot of these are a little bright, but if you use this one first, it's just going to ground the looks a little bit. Then we have Full Moon, and this is a very, very bright, super sparkly sunflower yellow metallic. Absolutely beautiful. In Wednesday's video, you're going to see me use all 4 of these shadows in a look, which is just it's something I've been doing a lot behind the scenes, and I've been absolutely loving that look, and I'm so happy we're finally able to show you. The brown is called Goblin, and this is a very dark, cool toned, almost like espresso or like ground coffee bean kind of a shade. It's a shade that you can darken up anything in this palette. It is a very pigmented, beautiful dark brown, and I just think it's absolutely wonderful. This one is also very, very dark, and this is the shade that I use to deepen up this look with, and for me, this is deep enough for me, but you can choose to deepen it up even more with the Goblin shade. Wicked is also one of the shades that we worked on the longest, actually. It is a almost white. I would say it's like a pale peach white. There's a little bit of a peach hint to this white, and there also is small micro peach micro shimmer in this one. I made this one to be like a inner corner highlight. I have it as an inner corner highlight today, or to just blend. I blended the edge with it here as well. It's very pigmented, it's very beautiful. And again, if you use this one in the crease, deepen up with this one, and then use this one as a lid color in the corner, that's a neutral look. I mean, even though this looks bright, that's a neutral look. The orange one is Jack-o'-lantern, and it is the shade that I have first on the edge here on my look. So excited to finally do a bright orange. I love orange, it's one of my favorite colors. Love this color, I think it's so beautiful, and I'm so excited we have this orange again here. Deadly is like a almost reddish burnt copper shade. It has a lot of shimmer in it. It is what I have here. You can see there is like an almost burnt red base, and then there is this like gold yellow sheen to it. Again, if you mix this one together with the fiery reds that I did here, it's gonna come off a little bit more vibrant, but you can mix this one with the more brownie shades, and again, it's almost neutral. I wanted to have one shimmer that just went together with this kind of a theming here to not make everything super bright. Candy Apple is the red that I have in my crease here. It is a super bright candy apple red. It's pretty true red. If nothing else, it's leaning a little bit on the warmer side, but this is a very bright pigmented red matte. Poison is what I have in my inner corner, like inner parts here, the matte shade. It is almost a neon. So again, think about this one as you did with the yellowy one. It might be really hard to start with this one and to build with this one, but you can always use a neon either as an accent color, or you can start with the green and then use the neon to buff the edges. It's just, neons are so white based, these super bright ones, to make them this bright, there's a lot of white pigment in there, so it might be really hard to build on top of them because of it. Witch's Brew is the special shade of this palette. It is extremely bright and vibrant. You can see it here in the inner part. It is, I think I can show you here. Yeah, you see in the mirror, it is almost like a teal blue, going to dark green, going to this vibrant, almost neon grassy green. It is such a beautiful shade. It has a really sophisticated, nice shift. Of course, here I'm only having it on a little bit, but if you have it on the lid and even just use this in the outer corner, it will be such a nice shift on your lid. It's just such a beautiful, I'm so excited about this. These pops, so excited. This one is the Trick or Treat shade, and I wanted to make this shade the Trick or Treat shade because I feel like we really did something with this shade. This is a metallic burgundy with like mint teal micro shimmers in it, and it is not a matte with micro shimmer, it is a metallic with micro shimmers, and it is so beautiful and wet looking and just so interesting. And this is also why I put it in this little quadrant here with the mint shimmer, because I knew that this together would be so good, and I've been using these together, and in Wednesday's video I will be showing you a look with these four together. Like I said, Vampire's Fang is the color that I have in my outer corner. It is a very pigmented, dark, cool tone burgundy. Remember what I said about the palette, the other one? This one is also a dark red, but it's leaning much more burgundy cool tone. The other one is leaning a little bit more on the warmer side, but it's absolutely beautiful. And for me, this is enough to deepen up with. I'm so excited we have this shade here because this kind of a dark red is one of my favorite shades to work with. Crypt Keeper is an olive green, but this one also has a little bit of a shift. I think you can see it here. It is like going from a dark, cooler green to a dark, warmer green. It's a beautiful, sparkly, opaque, metallic, and it's just such a beautiful lid shade. If you wanted to do something that's like colorful makeup for people who like neutrals, because it's not a bright poppy green, but it's still green. Cauldron is same here. It's a dark foresty matte green. It's absolutely beautiful. This one, if you use this one as a transition shade and then this and this, you will have the most beautiful, sophisticated, dark, smoky green eye. I need to show you that. It's so beautiful. Second to last shade is Cemetery, and in the pan these do look pretty similar, but you will see when I swatch them all out, this one is much more desaturated. This is almost like a dark mauve. It's got much more gray tones in it. It's much lighter than this one, and you will see in Wednesday's look, I'm using this one as a blending out shade for this one. So this one could be the transition shade for this one. This one is much more cool tone. It has more almost like a gray to it, and it's more like a desaturated burgundy leaning to a dark mauve. Does this make sense? I hope so. The pop I knew I needed in this palette is Magic Potion. This is a really beautiful shade that you can either use as a topper shade. It is a very sparkly mint, but it also can be built up. If you use your finger, if you spray your brush, you can get this to be pretty opaque. I knew I wanted to have something mint because I knew that with these like dark cool tone burgundies, like the cool tone reds work so well with mint, and I've done something like that on my channel, and I just wish that more palettes would do that combo. So I was like, listen, I'll do it myself. Cool tone reds and mint, and now you have this cool tone red metallic with mint shimmer in it as well. Like this little quad here, so beautiful. And yeah, I wanted to show you these together as well so you can just get a feel for the whole collection. But I'm so proud of these two palettes. We've done so many revisions trying to get them exactly right, and I just love how they came out, and I hope that you will love them too. Let me know which one you think is the most, like the best for you. I keep trying to think which one is my favorite, but it's like asking me which one is my favorite dog. I'm just like, yes, They both are. And then we have the lippies. I love these lippies. I love that I was able to just freely pick exactly what I wanted to have. So we have Radioactive, that is this sheer gloss, and this sheer gloss has green fine shimmer in it. It's a very beautiful and unique gloss, and it's not like it looks weird or deadly on the lips. It's just a super cool gloss. Honestly, this is the most unique neutral gloss I have in my collection. I've been wearing this so much. You've been asking me what it is, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't say. Then we have Quicksand, and this is the first color to get approved. This is a super warm yellow toffee gloss, and this one and the next gloss are a little bit more opaque. So the first one is a sheer gloss, and these are two pigmented glosses. Absolutely love how this one looks. I am so excited about this color. And then we have Spectral, which is more of a slightly pinky leaning, mauvey leaning gloss. And even though these have opaque color, you can sheer them out a little bit and they're still super comfortable and glossy and beautiful on the lips, but you can build them up and they become very, very pigmented. But I knew I wanted to have a nude gloss that was like, since I had this one that was like almost yellow, not yellow, but like a very warm brown, I wanted to have something that was a little bit more of a neutral, slightly pinky leaning thing. And then we have Shadow Creature, and this is my wearable red. I love a good wearable red. I've been wearing this a lot. This is like a brick red, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. It is one of those reds that it's giving a statement without like totally taking over your presence. And this one is their liquid lipstick formula, but this is a new liquid lipstick formula. This is very, very moussey, beautiful. It's what I have on my lips. They're not 100% transfer proof. I would say they're transfer resistant. Like, they're not smeary, they don't look or feel glossy, but they feel very comfortable and moussey and just wonderful. Honestly, they feel wonderful on the lips. They sent me this formula and they're like, how about this one? And I was like, this is wonderful. And the colors that we were able to do, I'm just so excited. The color that I have on here is Swamp Fog, and it is like a wearable orange, and I love it. It is a, what would I call this? It's like a terracotta. It's like a terracotta, and it's so beautiful, and I love it. And my idea with all 5 of these lip colors was that I wanted to bring something that was quote-unquote wearable shades for a lot of different skin tones, but maybe just a little step outside of the box of what is considered neutral. A gloss with green shimmer, something that's a little burnt, a little more yellow leaning, just something that was a little bit different, so that even if you mostly wear neutrals on your lips, which I do, you still be able to find something fun and interesting in this. And I'm so excited about the formulas. I've been wearing these so much, and like I said, if you've been watching my vlogs, this is basically the only lip products I've been wearing the past, well, almost year. I wanted to show you also, because I did talk a little bit about bundles, this is the box that your order will come in. If you order from this collection, it says Oden's Eye and Angelica, and it is the new artwork for this collection. And you can, of course, like I said, you can buy one thing, you can buy all of it as a bundle. There are different options, and if you don't want to buy any of it, listen, you never have to spend your own money on something that you really do not want to support a YouTuber. Just you being here, watching someone's videos to the end, leaving maybe a little uplifting comment, pressing thumbs up, sharing it on your socials if you enjoy it, liking the picture of the palettes on Instagram. If you don't feel like you would want this or get any kind of use out of it, even though I love these products and I'm so proud of the quality and the color stories and all of it, don't feel like you need to spend your money to support someone. If you're here, that's also support. But if you do end up buying it, I wanted to show you a little bit how it's gonna look. On the inside, there are a card that you're gonna get, a little message from me, and then there are some different gifts that you will get if you end up buying more than one product. I will give you all the info down below. There are 2 little keychains. Look at this one. It's so evil and thriving. It's like a little keychain thing. It's so beautiful. And then it's this one, little happy dude with the rainbow little tail. And then of course there is a scarf There is like one of these little twillies again that has the different like from the new artwork on it as well. And then everything of course will come nice and bubble wrapped depending on of course how many items you buy. So don't forget to check the different bundles options down below, because some of these things will be like a free gift with purchase when you order more than one thing, or if you order one of the bundles that are available. Is this limited edition? I would argue that most influencer collabs are limited edition to some extent. I don't know 100% if we will be able to restock if it sells out. I'm just letting you know. I want to be transparent with you. If it sells out very quickly, we might be able to restock, but I'm just saying, yes, it is limited edition. This is a little bit of a time-sensitive release as well, of course, because it is themed around Halloween, but thank you so much for being so kind and for being so sweet and for giving me opportunities to create wonderful and fun and just uplifting things like this. It's been so much fun to work on and to be able to create these beautiful color stories, and I am so excited I'm finally able to do looks for you. If you have any questions about this collab, if you have anything that you would like me to discuss, I am gonna be filming a get ready with me where I use both of these palettes together and do a look, because so far the looks that I've been filming has been with like one or the other palette, because again, I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, you need both palettes to do looks. No, you definitely do not. Each palette is a complete color story on its own, but I did want to do a look where I combine the two palettes, so please let me know what you would like to see. I also will put up, of course, a bunch of different things, swatches and reels and product pictures on my Instagram and probably on TikTok as well. So if you want to see more of this, definitely follow me there. But yeah, thank you again just for being here and for being nice. And it's been quite the journey, but I'm so excited that Halloween is here and that you're able to see it. And yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow for 3 looks with the little ghost palette. Bye!